Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside.
Hey, Scrappers, Tom here, and today is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, and we are live at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you have questions for us, ask. I'd love to be able to answer them, let you know what I think is going on with the market. You can tell me what you think is going on with the market. Ask us questions. That's why we're here, to be able to answer your questions and show you what's going on inside of the world of scrap. Before I forget, don't forget, if you do like our videos, check out our YouTube page, subscribe to it. And if you're looking for more videos to show you how to make more money with your scrap, our members only section is available. We have videos coming out every week that only go to members of ours through our YouTube channel. So please check those things out. So we have lots of videos we're making this afternoon, believe it or not, but right now we're making one on the market. So what's going on with the markets? Let's just start right with copper prices. Now, week over week, copper prices are down, if you look on a trading level, probably by about 2%. But I'm not overly concerned, and let me tell you why. Prices are really high. We've seen really strong growth, especially since we saw that unfortunate accident happen in the Indonesian copper mine. So that copper mine could be offline for up to 2 years, and that's going to really affect things down the road. But in the here and now, we're seeing these prices go up a tremendous amount. So to see them go down 2% week over week doesn't really concern me. Today you can see them down less than maybe a little over a penny per pound on a trading level. But here are a lot of the positives. U.S. copper prices are matching with international copper prices. So those two sticking together means that we have a strong market and that all of the world markets are aligned when it comes to scrap prices. So that's a win. Number two, on Friday, we saw the Chinese talking about restrictions on rare earth alloys. We saw President Trump responding, and we saw copper prices on Friday. They went from a $5.17 trading level all the way down to $4.82. Holy scrap, Batman. 35-cent swing in 2 hours. Now, Monday, we saw those markets come back, traded around 512, and then they receded a little bit yesterday, and we're at the levels that we're at. So considering we started to see a little more tariff spat, a little this guy versus that guy in the international world of countries trying to display their dominance, overall, we're still in a really strong place, which shows you the world markets took that with not a huge reaction. It was a quick reaction because it could have gotten worse. Things kind of slowed down over the weekend, got back to normal by Monday, Tuesday, and we're at a regular level where we're not having politics affect things today. So that's a good thing when it comes to copper prices. Now, if we pull up the reported copper prices on Bear Bright that we've seen, what we started to see is an increased momentum. And you can see here on the screen, rolling 45-day average over 350 per pound, and different reported prices, 360, 390, 380, 404, 468, whoa, 345, 305. At my yard, we're paying $4.20 a pound. Everyone's always welcome to come to Rockaway Recycling, 311 West Main Street, Rockaway, New Jersey. But we're generally one of the higher price yards. East Coast, closer to some of the export markets, also have the ability to sell to domestic markets, so it makes it a little easier for us. Where some of these other companies that you see, Florida, New Hampshire, Indiana, Ohio, they don't always have the same outlets that we have. So that's something to keep in mind. We have lots of videos on that. In fact, we have some videos that just came out for members only that gave lots of little shortcuts and tricks that I've never told before. So you should check out that video on our YouTube page. Really interesting. So copper prices are strong. I'm happy with them. I continue to have a sell all recommendation on your metals: copper, aluminum, brasses, cats, carbide, steel, aluminum. I think I said that. All of these items, stainless steel was the one that I said hold for a long time. Get rid of it all. If you saw my yard, we are liquidating almost as quickly as things are coming in. Markets are up. Why should we kind of sit here and gamble on things? That's my opinion on the markets. I'm a get it in and get it out guy. Other people want to be able to hold on to stuff, and that's what's right for you. But the one item that I did say to hold for a long time was stainless steel, which is based off of the nickel market, which week over week went down 2%. We're seeing stainless steel reported prices 32, 33 cents a pound on average for 304, maybe 25 cents, depending where you are. Not a lot of movement in these nickel markets, and I just don't see strong demand moving forward. Now, while we're talking about some of these things, we will briefly talk about some of the equity stakes that we've seen the United States taking. Now, this is from oilprice.net, and I'm just going to read directly. The Trump administration is taking direct equity stakes in critical mineral companies, including Trilogy Metals, MP Materials, and the Lithium Americas, as part of a push to reduce dependence on China for rare earth elements. Now, what I briefly mentioned before, the Chinese talked about restricting some rare earth elements, and this article talks about it a little more and just shows how serious the United States is to not having this become a major issue. So having the United States investing in some of these companies is almost trying to guarantee that the materials stay inside of the North American sphere, don't enter the export market, or if they do, they're being exported to friendly partners, Canada, Mexico, Europe, opposed to countries like like China, who are really putting a squeeze on these rare earth magnets and other rare earth metals. So it's just interesting to see how these things kind of shake themselves out. But we're watching this very, very closely, and hopefully we'll see some more momentum coming in the coming months and years as we start to build up our own North American rare earth dominance. The problem is so many things are now dependent on magnets and other specialty rare earths. It really makes it difficult to be able to go out there and to be able to answer some of these things, on a level in a completely different way. And Dominic, if we do have any questions, you can always throw them up on the screen and I'll answer those as they come in. Now, let's talk about aluminum. Week over week, aluminum prices are about even. Market movement less than 0.5%. One interesting article that we read, unfortunately, was about a fire at a major aluminum plant in the United States. Now, a major fire at the Novelis, New York facility disrupted 40% of U.S. auto-grade aluminum sheet production, causing ripple effects across the domestic supply chain. Combined with 50% import tariffs, the outage sent the Midwest premium to a record 77 cents per pound, tightening supply, adding volatility to an already constrained market. And scrappers, these articles are available for you to read as reference points through our weekly report that we send out there. So by all means, check this out. But we're still seeing very strong prices when it comes to aluminum. Here you can see the report right in the background. Great prices when it comes to aluminum right now. Sheet aluminum prices, 55 cents a pound on average, phenomenal aluminum prices. And that's why I've had such a strong sell rating on it for such a long time. I'm not holding my aluminum. But this is a secret that I will share with everyone, because it's not just a secret we have for our members only. We've shared this on YouTube. Aluminum is somewhere that you are missing out. Aluminum items can be upgraded so much, and that's a great place for you to make extra money. Check out our YouTube videos on how you can upgrade your aluminum. Now, I can see a couple of comments coming through of gold and silver, and why would I not talk about all-time records, right? Patrick says, Tom, what do you think the gold and silver markets are headed? Patrick, I like gold, and I think we get $5,000 an ounce by the end of next year. When I look at the domestic and international markets in turmoil right now, high interest rates, very high levels of debt, a lot of people are not really secure with the US dollar right now. Where are people putting their money? Into gold, into precious metals. Week over week, gold is up 3.7%, and it's actually more than that. I'm looking at gold trading numbers on my screen at $4,210 an ounce, which is actually a 4.1% increase week over week. Now, pair silver hitting an all-time record high, not adjusted for inflation. This is just number wise of $52, $53 an ounce. We're seeing major market movements. Now, this is a natural segue into catalytic converters. Platinum prices hit 52-week highs again at 1,587 an ounce. Palladium hit 52-week highs with a 12.5% week over week increase. Ding, 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 ding. Ring those bells, scrappers. Cut those cats out of your garage. Send them to rrcats.com because I don't see these prices, going lower than they are. But hell, we've waited so long to see an increase like this. Cash your cats in. Cash your gold scrap in, your silver scrap. I see a note here. Let's see here. David says maybe gold at 5,000 by the end of this year. David, won't shock me. I'd like to say it would, but I didn't see gold prices going up 50% this year. So seeing them go up another X dollars by the end of this year won't surprise me, especially with these knuckleheads in Washington on both sides of the aisle not having government deals. That adds insecurity into the markets, which also affects the value of the US dollar. And another reason why we see gold prices up another 1% today. Now, RR Cats, we are seeing and quoting the highest cap prices in over 2 years. Again, I need to get a scrap bell. I got to get one. Guys, send me a scrap bell next time they come in. I got to start ringing this because cap prices are blowing up. Now, we're seeing super high prices. And don't forget RR Cat's 10-day price locks. We give you a quote day one. You have 10 business days to get that in the mail, not even get to us. So if you're looking, let us know. Looks like we got another question here from Patrick Birdsley. It says, I own a small electronic recycling business, so it's helping a lot. The higher all of the metals go, the better. Absolutely, Patrick. And if you've been saving your materials, then you can cash in your coppers, your wires. Good for you for being able to be in such a strong industry that produces natural scrap as a byproduct of your service. It's a great way for you to make money. Chris Murray said a few minutes ago, Tom, if you strip all the insulation off extension cords and plugs off of utilities, is it worth more that way? Well, on a per pound basis, yes, absolutely, Chris. Would I do it? Hell no. I wouldn't strip any of those things. If you enjoy doing it, by all means, do it. On a making extra money wise, no, you're not going to be making it. And David Carlisle said New Jersey is a long drive from Birmingham, Alabama. But David, if you came to Rockaway Recycling, we'd give you a t-shirt. If I'm here, I'd love to take a picture with you and post it on our social media. And $4.20 a pound is probably 50 cents more than you're getting. Save a couple £1,000 up, come make $1,000. And that'll help pay for some of that gas and it'll give you a fun road trip. Now, let's look at some of the other metals that we can talk about. Steel prices, they're up week over week, right? But they're up such a minuscule amount. I think I saw my prices increase last week by $5 a ton, right? I mean, where are we going with this, scrappers? What's $5 a ton doing here? That's not even a penny a pound. That's like less than a quarter penny a pound. But there's no market for steel. I'm going to read this here from oilprice.net. Imports slump sharply. Steel imports to the U.S. are down 32% year over year through August 2025, the lowest monthly import volume since 2019, as tariffs and weak demand weigh on buying activity. What does that mean, scrappers? not a lot of good stuff for steel. While we have seen some steel prices go up, we can't really see them go much further down. And if you check out some of our articles, we've been talking about these markets. I'm not holding steel. I do know a few scrap yards holding high grade things like rotors. Okay, but 133 a ton, 132 a ton on a national level for scrap. You can look at these light iron prices: 7 cents, 5 cents, $80 a ton, 145, 95 a ton. I think we're at 95 a ton as a non-shredding yard. But you want a little advice? If your scrapyard is a shredding operation, that could give you the opportunity to make 20 to 25 bucks a ton. But if they're not in your backyard, you're going to be traveling and not really making that much extra cash, scrappers. The good news, though, on that steel side, we're seeing gas and oil prices coming down, so that will help some of the things. Steel prices. CU Scrapping says here, steel hasn't been great in over 5 years. Maybe a little less than 5 years, but you're pretty much dead on that. We're looking at steel markets. I remember in 2021, some huge numbers for steel in the $300 to $600 per ton range. But today, I don't know. Not much. I'm looking at a lot of these comments. Gold 5,000, silver 52 bucks. The sad thing is everyone's looking for gold and silver, and a lot of these numbers are inflated. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens if we figure out the government shutdown, the interest rates. There's a lot of balls that haven't dropped that we're really waiting on seeing. So we're waiting on that and watching these markets intently. Let's see. Doug Lloyd says Mountain West 35 to 40 bucks a ton for steel. Doug, that is hard. Patrick says $8.25 for light iron locally. These aren't great numbers, scrappers. That's a 170 a ton number. So you might be dealing with a shredder. So good for you. But we're just not seeing strong. We're not seeing these strong prices, and it really makes it hard to move metals quickly without seeing strong numbers. So we're just going to watch these numbers and continue to report in. So, scrappers, I think I counted like 8 or 9 more live sessions this year. So don't forget, every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we try to be live and answer your questions. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page. Look at our videos. Our member-only videos are so phenomenal. The team here at iScrap and Rockway Recycling do such a great job. I'm actually getting ready to go and film some more in a few minutes to help you make more money with your scrap. Scrappers, today's Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. My name is Tom Buchel from Rockway Recycling and the iScrap app. I thank you for tuning in. And until next week, I'll scrap you later.